Rules for the US Soccer Federation. US Under-20s rule the world, or at least part of it. Chelsea go 10 points clear. Mix Diskerud on the move. And a quick heads up on all the soccer coming to your television today. Good morning. It's Tuesday, March 7th. I'm Daryl Grove, so you must be listening to The Goalmouth. 5 minutes of bite-sized soccer news. Up first, the US Soccer Federation had its annual general meeting in Hawaii over the weekend. A couple of big things to come out of it. The first is term limits. This says that the president and vice president of US Soccer, say N'Golo Kante is the president now, cannot serve more than 3 terms or a total of 12 years in office. That second part, I assume, is to prevent a sort of Vladimir Putin, Dmitry Medvedev type situation. Second thing to come out of this is the idea of fan representation on the National Council. The details are all a bit still TBD, but basically the National Council will have a fan representative probably voted for by other fans. This doesn't mean that we can sort of seize the means of team selection and say, pick a US men's national team starting 11 with a Twitter poll. Can you imagine the arguments? But the fan representative will attend the annual general meeting and will get a vote on the National Council. Another new US soccer rule that was actually approved in February was revealed by Stuart Holden this weekend. The policy is called 604-1. It states that all persons representing a federation national team shall stand respectfully during the playing of national anthems at any event in which the federation is represented. So it's basically US soccer's very long-winded way of saying, stand up, Megan. If you'll indulge me for 10 seconds of editorializing here, I am not a fan of this diktat, which is kind of what it is. Even if you strongly believe that all players should stand during the anthem, which is a perfectly valid opinion, wouldn't you prefer that they do so of their own free will and not because of something called Policy 604-1? Up next, the US men's national team under-20s are now the CONCACAF champions, or Campeones, as the billboard said, as they lifted the trophy. This is a big achievement for Tab Ramos's young men. You may recall from a couple of weeks ago, I was not impressed with the first game against Panama, which they lost 1-0. In the final, the US tied Honduras 0-0 after 90 minutes. There was no extra time. Straight to penalty kicks. The US players stepped up and buried every single penalty kick, one after the other, till Danny Acosta of Real Salt Lake put the winner past the Honduran keeper. Final score on spot kicks, 5-3 to the United States. Switching continents and switching gears, Chelsea are 10 points clear at the top of the Premier League after a 2-1 win over West Ham. Goals came from Eden Hazard and Diego Costa, but the man we really should be talking about is N'Golo Kante. Take a look at Eden Hazard's goal to open the scoring, and it all starts with N'Golo Kante winning the ball in roughly the left-back spot, because even though he plays centre midfield, he is almost everywhere, and then charging forward at pace to launch a deadly counter-attack. There's also footage in that game of N'Golo Kante literally passing to himself, in that he plays a through ball, no one else is going after it, so he sprints and gets to it himself. This man is going to win the Premier League twice in a row. All you got to do is put a blue jersey on him and watch him go. The best quote about this performance comes from Eden Hazard, who says that playing with Kante, he sometimes feels like he's playing with twins. If only Claudio Ranieri had known this at the start of the season, he could have sold just one of the Kante twins to Chelsea and kept the other one for the Foxes. You may recall that last Tuesday I brought you the story of Mix Diskerud's sad Instagram poem in which it became clear that Diskerud was on the outs at NYCFC. Since then, Diskerud's contract has been bought out by NYCFC, but MLS still holds Diskerud's rights. And because MLS is complicated and Diskerud has a no-trade clause in that contract, he's going to have to go elsewhere to play some soccer. Latest reports from Sweden's Expressen have Diskerud talking to Swedish team IFK Gothenburg about a possible loan deal. I know I laughed at Mix's verse last week because it wasn't very good, and I know I kind of poked fun at Mix's performances for NYCFC over the past year because they weren't good either. But here's wishing Mix and his careless whisper-worthy flowing locks the very best of luck and a successful move to Gothenburg. Finally, a quick heads up on today's televised soccer. It's the start of the Champions League round of 16 second legs today. On Fox Sports 1, they chose the game Arsenal versus Bayern Munich. Arsenal hosting Bayern, but they have a 5-1 deficit to overcome. Based on the recent photo of the friendly handshake between Arsene Wenger and Alexis Sanchez, I'm going to guess Sanchez starts this game, which I guess is good news for Arsenal fans. The bad news is that many Bayern Munich players will start the game for Bayern Munich. At the same time, on Fox Sports 2, you've got Napoli hosting Real Madrid. A game Real enter with a 3-1 advantage from the first leg. The game I'll have my eye on is on Fox Sports 1 at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's the final US game in the She Believes Cup. The US hosts France at RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. If you're not familiar, here's how the She Believes Cup works. It's one 4-team group stage featuring the US women's national team, Germany, England and France. The US has already beaten Germany and lost to England. So tonight, Jill Ellis's team will need to beat France and keep the goal difference up so that England can't overtake them if England beat Germany by a better scoreline. Do not watch this game if you're looking for Megan Rapinoe drama. She is not part of the roster. The reason I really think this game is worth watching is that the US has been playing a 3-4-1-2 formation, which may as well be subtitled. We've got loads of attacking players and we're going to try and play them all at once and let's see what happens. That game again is 7 p.m. Eastern, Fox Sports 1, US Women's National Team versus France. I've been Daryl Grove. Tomorrow morning, you'll be getting your news not from George Qureshi. There was a training ground bust-up and we've benched him to Friday. Instead, you'll be getting Ryan Bailey on Wednesday. I'll leave you now with today's Goalmouth top tip. Remember, kids, 71% of the earth is covered by water, and the rest is covered by Monsieur N'Golo Kante.